Did you know that watercolor artists, they're not just throwing down blotches and splotches of color on blank paper and turning out amazing works of art? It appears that way because of the translucent washed out paint. But just like they said in grade school, art is based on shapes. Do you remember hearing that? Apparently there is a way to sketch your idea first, just as long as you don't use a pencil. Here to take some of the mystery out of the foundations of watercolor painting is artist Natalie Malan. She's joining me in studio. So great to see you.
Thanks for having me.
I always love to, of course, catch up with you, but then just to spy and sneak peek at what you're working on. And you're working on something specific right now.
Yes, so I have a line of paper that just came out in Joann's stores with Cricut, and I was kind of thinking about flowers, and that's such a big trend. What else is fun to go with that? And bugs. Bugs are really fun. It's a new thing.
Something about someone as pretty and dainty as you is saying bugs. I'm working on bugs.
My kids bring me worms as present when it's raining outside because they know I love them. I'm a big gardener too.
Okay, but I'm not finding bugs this cute and this pretty in my garden.
Probably not. They might be a little bit less colorful, but why not make them fun?
Sure.
Why not?
You've Natalie-fied them, if that's a
there
verb.
We go.
We'll make it one today.
It.
I was cracking up, and I was telling you this before the show, because 4 years ago when this DIY watercolor trend sort of exploded and women were scrambling to get their hands on paintbrushes, I went after, you know, a topic we addressed on the show on watercoloring. I went to, I think, you know, my local Michael's with my 40% off coupon, and I snagged a watercolor set, and the very first thing, and I have to say the last thing, that I watercolor painted on my own time was a cute little roly-poly, a cute little
so fun. Those are my favorite too. Yeah, potato bugs are great.
For my niece Charlotte, because she was into collecting them at the time, and it still sits on her nightstand.
So
don't judge. Don't judge too critically, but that was my first attempt.
That's the best, and you've got to start and just have fun with it. I think that's the most important thing. But one of the things that people don't know about is that you can use pencils to sketch things out ahead of time. You don't have to just go in it totally blind if you don't want to. I like the look of just freehanding, but I got these awesome new pencils.
I was going to say, it's not just any pencil. That's where the trick comes into play.
That is true. It is not. If you use just a standard graphite pencil, you're going to have a little bit of an issue. If you put watercolor on top of a graphite pencil, it's going to stay gray no matter what you do, and you cannot erase it afterwards. These pencils are fun because they are made specifically for watercolor.
Okay.
And as soon as you put color on top, it blends whatever color you're drawing in with it. So if you use blue underneath and then put green paint, it'll be a pretty blue-green translucent color.
So it will add to the color effect.
And if you're a little nervous about your drawing skills, these are great because not only are they drawing pencils, you can also erase them, and not all colored pencils are erasable. And these ones I found are really wonderful. This is my favorite little eraser right here. These you need to order online, and these you can get from Close to My Heart.
It's called the Sumo Grip.
The Sumo Grip. It's amazing. I was a little nervous putting a black eraser on my white paper, but no, it's great. It's fantastic.
You erase once the paint is on?
You can erase anything that's not covered by paint after you're done. But you can use the little pencil. I'm just going to show you. I'm going to make this a little bit darker so you can see. I wouldn't do it typically this dark, but with these pencils you can.
So you're able to pre-draw out the body of the bug.
You can pre-draw your shapes. And this brings me to brushes. Like you're saying, going to the supply store can be a little intimidating, right?
Well, especially because this has become so popular, this particular art medium. There's more and more
options. So many options. Okay, I'm going to show you some of my favorite ones for painting bugs.
Okay.
This is the Princeton Select. This is called an oval mop brush. And the difference between an oval mop and a brush that's called a filbert, this is a filbert, and a filbert just means it has that rounded tip. An oval mop is a little bit fatter and it holds more water.
Why is that good for like a circular oval shape?
Exactly. So it's good because you can put it down on your painting right here like this, and it makes that rounded edge of your bugs for you.
It almost does the work for you.
You can turn it sideways this way and do your bug. I'll put a little paint on so you can see what I'm talking about too. And then if you're using those watercolor pencils, you can just scrub a little bit if you don't want to line, or you have the option to leave the line. So you can just
look how it's blending.
Work it in,
just
and
as
it
you
blends
described.
in. Just like that for
Well,
you.
so a great option, the sketching option for beginners like me, because it's almost a fill in the blank. It's almost a paint inside the line, sort of an exercise.
And it makes it fun to go outside and look at some real bugs.
Get your examples, your inspiration
You're not
from
just
Mother
sitting
Nature
inside
herself.
all day. And you can go outside of the lines with these. See how I missed the line a little bit right there? And the more water you put on, the more that line will just disappear right underneath.
So are bugs good for beginners? Because they really are just a bunch of basic shapes, right?
So great, because you can see, let me hold this up and show you.
Yeah, please.
So if you want to do something like a start of a little butterfly, you just take the side of your brush. I'm going to dry this off. And you push it down this way.
Here, can I hold for you?
You can hold that.
Okay.
You can push your brush this way and it'll fan out, and then as you lift it up, it will make this pretty teardrop shape right here.
Look how stunning.
Or if you use your brush this direction, You can make the little wings, the little bodies, and the little heads. These brushes come in different sizes. They're not super expensive.
I was going to ask about the price point. How much can you expect to pay for good brushes?
Really good brushes are very expensive, but these ones are really good and also budget friendly.
What's the brand
So
on
these
that?
this is a Princeton Select.
Okay.
And they're around $5, maybe $5 to $10.
So good for beginners, not a
Good
huge
for
investment.
beginners. Not a huge investment. The other thing that I like to pick up while you're at the craft store are these fun little pens. This one is from My Paper Crush.
Okay.
And it's called a Le Pen.
Le Pen.
Le Pen. And it's so great for doing these fun, wispy antenna.
Oh, for the little detail.
Little tiny details on top of your bugs.
Look at that. I'm going to hold this up, can I? And you
Sure
probably
can.
use that there too on the tracing.
You can use it to do little details. You can use it for little antenna, little tiny feet, all kinds of fun things that you can do with these skinny little pens.
Since we're talking watercolor foundational basics, does the paper matter, Natalie?
The paper totally matters. If you want to do something with a really smooth edge, with really crisp lines, you need to use a hot press paper. This is a hot press. These are my two favorite kinds of paper by Arches.
Okay.
If you want to have something that has more of that rough watercolor looking edge, use a cold press. We can open these up.
Sure.
This one is really smooth and flat, you'll see. And this one has more of a texture to it.
Yeah, there's bumps, there's ridges.
A little bit more.
Okay.
And that gives you that really beautiful edge, especially for flowers and sometimes with bugs. But sometimes when people are starting to draw, they want really clean, precise lines. And if you want something like that, you definitely should go with a hot press.
Why do you think women
the way
are
to go.
flocking to this art form? I mean, is it therapeutic? I know it's for you, it's a job.
love
but
it.
Do you still get that therapeutic release as you just kind of free flow
You can
on the
just
paper?
sit and doodle and do something. Most people have a set of watercolors in their house that they can already go ahead and use. The brushes that come with those I might toss, but you
Don't
can
keep
pick
your
up,
Crayola
don't keep
watercolor
the like
brush.
flat head brushes. Those are probably not your best bet, but you can buy so many great little brushes just at a local craft store.
And what's the embossing tool for?
Okay, this I love also because you can use it to dry things really quickly.
Oh.
So one thing that's hard about watercolor is sitting around and waiting for things to dry.
Because it does take a while for the colors to kind of morph and settle.
You want them to morph, you want them to have a chance to blend together, but you don't always want to have it wet. If you paint wet on top of wet on top of wet, it's just gonna keep blending and turn into mud.
Right.
So if you give it a chance to dry in between layers, then you get pretty translucent shapes like this guy right here.
I could just sit and stare at your work all day. It's amazing.
You're so nice.
You're so talented. Did you really get inspiration from the garden for these bugs though? Because
We
I'm telling you,
did.
they're pretty creatures.
They're
very
pretty
cute.
fun. You get some colors from the flowers or your favorite shirt or your children's bedrooms or your bedroom,
Awesome.
and then you can run with it. So that makes it really fun.
Well, bugs not the only thing you're tackling. Thank you for inspiring us to pick up our paintbrushes through that lesson. You're also taking on succulents, I understand, in an upcoming class.
They've been so popular lately that we are having an upcoming class August 25th at Paper Crush store in Lehigh. And we're going to paint some succulents there.
How fun. You can see how fun it is just to learn along. You make it so easy too. You make it doable.
We have a great time.
Thanks for not judging my roly-poly too harshly.
I love it. He's
and
so
now,
cute.
after today, I might be doing 2.0 version. Charlotte's room is about to get an update with a new canvas. Okay, thank you so much.